of Vice President Nixon's tour of Poland and the popular enthusiasm that greeted him in many areas, despite lack of notice in the press of his schedule. Over 250,000 lined Nixon's route, overshadowing by far Poland's recent reception for Khrushchev. Dramatic and eloquent evidence of the popular temper here, in what is comparatively the freest of the Iron Curtain countries, and where the demands on the Vice President's talents in tact and diplomacy were possibly the greatest of his entire tour. On arrival back in Washington, Mr. and Mrs. Nixon received a triumphal reception. First to greet them as they left the plane was daughter Julie, 10. Her sister Patricia stayed home with back trouble. A crowd of nearly 4,000 thronged the airport, including most of the White House staff and nearly every Republican congressman and senator. But there is no partisanship in Mr. Nixon's speech.
The people of the Soviet Union, and even more the people of Poland, who lost 1 out of 4 citizens in World War II, have suffered a great deal in wartime. And they desperately want peace, just as the American people want peace. We have been tremendously moved by the welcomes that we have received in the countries we have visited. But as we return, we have the same feeling in our hearts that we have had upon returning to the United States from other trips that we have taken abroad. The best part of going away from the United States is to come home again.
The Vice President concluded with a plea that America show Khrushchev the same courtesy on his coming tour that he had received in the Soviet. Mr. Nixon then went directly to the White House to report to the President. Here, too, a sizable crowd waited to cheer him. With the President's brother, Dr. Milton Eisenhower, who was on the trip, Mr. Nixon gives Ike a first-hand account of his talks with Red leaders, the dramatic prelude to the upcoming exchange of visits by Ike and Khrushchev, and may signal a new diplomatic era in the Cold War.